Have you figured out your niche? Are you helping adding value to other people's lives? Then you're in the right place. Welcome to Munira's Musings with your host, Munira Zahabi.
Greetings from Chicagoland. Welcome to another episode of Munira's Musings. How are you all? The time has changed, so has Munira's Musings time, because we are going to take this show to the next level, and we want to be the early birds catching everybody else. We've moved the time because I'm doing a consulting work with a different on a different thing, and so I won't be able to do Munira's Musings at the regular time. And my friend Rita here was very open to the fact that let's just do it the first thing in the morning, and there it is, we did it. So thank you everybody for showing up today. Our guest today is Rita Thomas. She's out in Florida. Yes?
No, Knoxville, Tennessee.
Nashville, Tennessee. And well, she's in one of those areas too. But but the thing is, she's on Eastern time. We showcase somebody, a new person, every single week because we know that they have something to share. What brought them to this area of expertise, and why are they the expertise of this thing that they are doing? Rita Thomas is a veteran. Thank you for your service. And she's going to talk to us about her journey to her niche. She has a wonderful niche, and she talks about automation. Now, why is automation very important? So without further ado, let's bring on Rita. Rita, welcome to Munira's Musings. How are you?
Very well. Thank you so much. Actually, yesterday we had a little touch of Chicago here in Knoxville, Tennessee. We got at my house 3 or 4 inches of snow in March, and that is almost unheard of. And I want to say a special shout out to all my Chicago friends. I moved here from Chicago in 2000. So I lived there for about 11 years, and I loved living in that area. So
Rita, tell us, so first of all, let's talk about the weather, right? Because that's the one thing we talk about. So why is it that, why did you move from Chicago?
Well, I moved from Chicago here because I had some family that moved here, and I was the only one left in Chicago out of my whole family. So I said, well, okay, I'll go ahead and move down there. And I'm really glad I did. I love the mountains and the Great Smoky Mountains National Park. And the weather here is really mild and temperate most of the time. And I can always hop back to Chicago on a flight of an hour and be there with my friends. So that's always great too.
All right. So remember, when you come here, you have to visit us in person.
Yes, ma'am. I did not
awesome, right? Right. Okay. So let's talk about, tell us a little bit about yourself. Apart from being a veteran, you are an automation expert. But what else do you do, and why do you do what you do?
So thank you so much. So I actually started my own, and I had been a professional photographer for about 11 years now, and I still am a professional photographer, but I always had a day job the whole time. And I could never break out of that hold where the money I was earning in my day job, I could not match it or surpass it in my side business because of the time I had to spend, dedicated to my employer, of course. And so I never figured out that the reason I could not break past that was because I had to do every single thing in my business myself in the few hours each day that I had in the evening and all my weekends. And so that means touching every single client at every step of their journey, from being a lead to a prospect to a client, satisfying their needs, and then trying to turn them into a raving fan and wowing them with my service. And so that is a struggle that I know a lot of people are on. And I think my issue is twofold. I did not niche at first. And then it came about naturally. I started doing event photography and I really fell in love with it. And a special advantage for me was most photographers don't like event photography because it's a very difficult environment to shoot in. Like, you can't control the lighting, you can't control what people are doing. They're talking and they always make funny faces when they're talking, or they move out of the position where you had them in focus, and so they went off to talk to someone else. And so event photography is very challenging in some ways, aside from portraits and things like that. So I was able to niche in my neighborhood here in Knoxville, and I didn't have a lot of other people clamoring for that same activity. So that was great for me. And yet I still was stuck in that, working every evening and on my lunches and every weekend. And I never could ever create any steady income. So I would make money one month and then I would be not making any money the next month. And I was on this revenue roller coaster, which a lot of business people are on. And the reason is because all my energy kept going to every single teeny tiny detail that is required to run a business. You have to do your accounting books, you have to book all your appointments, you have to follow up with every client, you have to find leads and talk to those leads to turn them into a client. So when I found automation, it completely changed everything. It saved my business and my sanity.
So how did you find it?
So I took 3 days vacation from my job, and I did a 3-day seminar workshop with one of the coaches that's always advertising for those things to help your business. So I sat there at my home office all day, and I was watching and paying attention and learning how to be a better business person. And one of the sponsors for that event was KEEP. And so that's KEAP. And that stands for Keep Everything All in One Place. So I thought that was pretty funny. And they told me how I could get a calendar and my CRM, which is your client list, and all your email marketing, your invoicing, and all of those things in one place. So you can not only be more organized, it's kind of like a way to Marie Kondo your business. You don't have to have sticky notes all over the place and stacks of legal pads with important stuff written in them, which then I never could find the important stuff again once I wrote it down in the legal pad, because you can put all that information in one place. And then the beauty of all of that is, when you want to communicate with your leads or your current clients and you want to tell them something new and exciting that's happened, or educate them on your latest blog post or anything like that, you can segment that list into people that are very specifically interested in that information and send it to them the way they want to hear it. So what does that do? That makes them more interested when they see your name on the email that comes in. They're not just going to say, another email from whoever it is. They're going to say, oh my gosh, what does she have for me now? Because you consistently deliver interesting information to them that they can internalize and turn into something important in their lives. And the reason that you're able to do that is because you have collected bits of information about them all in one place. And then you can then give them what they need and want, educate them about your business, because it's important. My friend Sherry Martin, who is a social media expert, she coined the phrase, and I absolutely love it. You need to be known before you're needed. And so they don't need you every day, whatever the service is that you're providing to your audience. But when they do need you, you want to be top of mind. You want to be the only person they think of. And how you do that is you're constantly giving them value throughout the weeks and throughout the year. That way, when someone says, I need whatever kind of help it is, they think of you right away and they say, you get to talk to Munira. She knows exactly what to do to help you get more leads because she's the niche navigator. You got to talk to her. Here's her number.
Okay. So you listened to this woman and you said, okay, I'm going to take this and take it to the next step. Most people are comfortable with whatever they have, including myself, right? Why do you, first, how long does it take you to learn the new software?
Well, that's a very good question. And the answer is almost as unique as each individual business person. I've had people purchase Keep and want to sit down in a matter of 1 or 2 days and spend all of their time to get it all the way done and ready so that they are moving forward right away, 100% saturated with their new CRM system, right? I've had other people that have said, I'm going to spend 2 hours every Saturday working on my Keep until I have it ready. And that could take 6 weeks or however long that takes that person. So I've seen both complete. I've even seen people buy a system like this and then not use it because they don't have someone like me to help them. They just buy it straight from the company. And then they're afraid of all the moving parts and they don't know for sure how it works. And so then they're intimidated by it. So they only use a tiny piece of it or they really don't use it. And that's the saddest thing is when they're paying money for a software that they don't know how to use or don't know what's going to happen when they push that enter button and say, go. And then people are afraid of automation because they think it's cold and robotic or it's impersonal. And they're really afraid that their friends and their audience and their clients are going to get bombarded with too much information at one time, or they're going to become annoyed and then they're not going to like me anymore and I'm going to lose them as a client. So there's a lot of fear around starting to use a tool that I can't think of a business that could not benefit from automation. So I think every business could benefit from it, but there's a very real fear. And the fear is coming from all those emails that you receive from all those people that are bombarding you with information that you don't want. Is that right? Can I get an amen on that? So the reason is that you would be able to use automation in your business. It's in your voice. You actually write the emails yourself. So it's not cold and robotic. And you can personalize it because you have collected those bits of information that you learned about your client. And then you can segment the information based on exactly who wants to hear this piece of information. Here's a perfect example of segmenting. I'm still a professional photographer. I still have my business and I use automation in my business. So sometimes I will do some family sessions, say around Easter time at a local park. And I want to market that to the people on my list because they've already bought pictures from me. So I know they're going to want them again. But I also have people on my list, for example, my friends in Chicago, friends all across the country from my Air Force days. And they don't want to hear about these little live photo sessions that are available in a park in Knoxville, right? And so I segment my list for the people who actually live in Knoxville or around this area so I can invite them to schedule that kind of session. And then I'm not bombarding all my other friends or all my other contacts and clients with information that they can't use and it's not of interest to them. So that's one way that you can personalize the information. And then as far as bombarding people with too much, too often, you completely control how often you send out information with your CRM with your automation system. You could just send something once a month, like a newsletter. You could send something once a week. A lot of marketing gurus say that once a week is the best interval to be sending out valuable information to your list. Or you could send something more often, whatever you feel like your audience wants to hear from you is perfectly fine, but it's not going to happen out of your control, and something that you don't know is happening is going on out there and annoying your people.
So I get the fact that you have the software. So we're talking to entrepreneurs here who are either in business or still trying to figure it out, right? And we talked about a little bit about they have a system, then they don't want to learn something different, right? Let's talk about why automation is very necessary in your business. And I know you talked about your business and that you were being bombarded because in reality, we want to have a relationship with every person that connects with us, right?
Yeah.
And then we want to then tell them about our products. I get very annoyed when I get bombarded by, hey, you need my product because I'm an app builder, or I'm this, and that's how it starts, right? I don't want that, people. I want them to have a relationship with me and gain my trust first. So I understand all that part, right? But automation is needed. So there are ways that if somebody emails you, then you return. And the big gurus have it. They have already captured that market, and they have it so streamlined that you get an email from them once you haven't even purchased something, and you just looked at it, and then they'll send you a message, hey, it's in your shopping cart, why haven't you purchased it yet?
Yes.
So some of them may not have that sophisticated systems, right? They may not have sophisticated programs for other people to buy. Why then is your system so robust and so appealing to other people? And even if they don't have a product like that, why should they even invest in such a thing?
Well, pardon me. I'll tell you, one of the things that I found when I started using automation is something I never knew that you could buy. And the best way to describe it is that I never knew you could give somebody money and buy peace of mind. So in my business, I constantly was worried about, did I do that thing? Did I send that email? Those kind of things. Am I keeping up? I need more leads. How am I going to get more leads? And so then when I had a bunch of leads, how am I going to keep constantly keeping them interested in me, right? And so when you have an automated system, remember that roller coaster where you're doing a whole bunch of one activity and then none of that activity, and it's causing money to either come in or not come in to your business? With automation, you can put some of those tasks on like on an autopilot, so they're running in the background. So that makes your activity and your revenue start to even out. So then each month you have more steady cash flow instead of having that roller coaster. And also, for the peace of mind, I know most entrepreneurs, or many entrepreneurs, even when they're away from their business, sitting with their family on a picnic or maybe watching a TV show in the evening, they're on their downtime, their leisure time with their family, but their mind is still on their business because I have to call so-and-so tomorrow, and I have to get that proposal ready by Thursday, and I have to remember that this is coming up on that day, and I have to tell all my clients about this thing coming up, right? So all those things are on their mind because they have to do it, and they are afraid to let go of it off their mind for fear that it'll fall through the cracks, right? So when you have automation and you can let your your CRM remind you of things on your to-do list. Like I get up in the morning, I look at my computer, there's my to-do list. All the people I need to write a personal note to because they purchased something from me, all the people that are registered for my webinar coming up on Wednesday, those people, they're right there on my computer, and I don't have to wonder and worry what's happening and if I have people scheduled for my webinar, because it's all happening automatically. So that peace
So
of mind, yeah. I used to wake up at night worried about things, and I sleep through the night now because I know it's all going to happen in the background.
I'm laughing because you said you could buy peace of mind, right? Because that is a most important thing. I mean, at least one piece of your puzzle is this thing. I'm an advocate of automation. If somebody could do it for me, and if I had a magic genie, and I've seen your webinar where you've talked about and you've showed us how this works, and it is truly a genie. It works very well with the systems. So, of course, you have a webinar coming up, you said, on Wednesday?
Yes, on Wednesday, the webinar is called Automate Your Way to Freedom. So today
Right,
we're
okay.
talking about, and it's in general, it doesn't matter which automation system or which CRM you're using, that's client relationship management system. This webinar just talks about the reason why automation is good for your business and how some of the ways that you can implement automation in your business to find your way to that freedom, so you can relax and enjoy your family and actually make more money because you're not toiling away on the computer doing this when you need to be out there selling and being the face of the company.
Okay, got it, got it. So, Rita, tell us something about else. Give us a fun fact about you.
Oh, a fun fact about me. So a lot of people don't know that I speak, or I used to speak, Czechoslovak.
Oh, used to speak, do you not speak it now?
Well, I can a little bit, but I haven't. I did that, was my job in the Air Force. I was a translator. And so I learned Czechoslovak in Monterey, California. And then, so now when you don't use a language, of course, it falls out of your head, of course. So I can speak it a little bit. And if I'm near someone who's speaking it, I can say, oh, they're having a conversation about this or that. And and that, I'll tell you, learning that language and the culture of that, it was a communist country back when I learned the language. So that was a fascinating and very important aspect of forming who I am as a mature adult, because I was a young adult then, because their whole world was different from America. And I had never traveled abroad or learned really about other cultures very much at that point. And so it was fascinating to me to learn how their culture worked. And then I lived in Germany when I did my job when I was in the Air Force. And so living in another country and experiencing all of their different ways of doing things, and it was such a rich experience, and I'm so thankful for it. And of course, I met the best people on earth. The people I worked with in the Air Force were and still are the most amazing people.
That is so amazing. I mean, I wish we had more time, right? Because you're such a I'm so curious about you, what happened in your life, and now you've just opened up a new chapter. So we have to bring you back. But what
Oh,
book
I
are
would
you?
love that.
That would be awesome. So what book are you reading right now?
Oh, I love How to Build a Story Brand by Donald Miller. I highly recommend it for every business owner or anyone who even wants to be a business owner. And it's really, when you talk about your business, you don't talk about what I've done and how I built, but you tell the story from the customer's point of view. So they're hooked immediately, and they're listening to you because you're talking about them instead of yourself.
Ah, nice, nice. Okay, so Donald Miller,
How to build a story brand.
how to build a story brand. So, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. Rita, one more last question. Where can people find you?
Okay, so I have I have in the chat 5 things you need to know about automation, and my website is on there, and it's rita.mynticard.com. And so NTI is a Networking Today International, and that is a nationwide group that you can join Zoom networking meetings online. And so you can always reach me through there.
That is awesome. So I know I've asked you all of the questions. Is there something else you'd like to share with us? One more last tip, maybe something fun?
Okay, so something fun about me.
Fun. Anything that you want us to know about you, so that they say people do business with people you like to know and trust, right? So then how would they know you better?
Well, one of my favorite things to do in the whole world is country and western dancing. So, and I used to go to the Cadillac Ranch there in Chicago, but that's closed now. But I love the two-step and the waltz and the schottisch and all the country and western couple dances. And of course, I learned every line dance I could, and I love the music, and I just love everything about country and western dancing. That's my favorite passion, and it's really good exercise. When I was dancing several nights a week, I didn't even have to go to the gym.
That is awesome, right? So you got so many tips and tricks today from Rita. Thank you so much, Rita. Ladies and gentlemen, you know what? Automation. You always wonder where there's this genie coming from, right? She's got us all on keep right now. There's several of us in her group that we have learned about keep and just kind of very fascinated by it, and some of them have jumped, some of them haven't, but it's a product. Now, I'm not saying that you need to buy from Rita. What I'm saying is automate your business. How you do it is at your leisure, but you'll have somebody who holds your hand, and takes you through this system, because sometimes that is very, very frustrating. I was on a call with somebody last Friday, and I had a 20-minute slot with them. And then I kept asking them, is it okay if we go longer, because I was imposing on her time, and she kept saying, no, that's fine. But she didn't have the intricacies of how to connect the two softwares or everything. We as entrepreneurs have a calendar link. We have a CRM system somewhere else. Then we have a PayPal or somewhere where we connect all the dots from somewhere. Keep is a system that has everything encompassing. And what's one more thing that I like about it is that it gives you a visual of how to connect those dots. And once you connect them, life is so simple. I like it. But other than that, if you are, I'm not asking you to figure out how to run your business, but what I'm asking you is to automate your business, and that's the importance of it. And frustration can get to a point where you just don't want to do your business anymore. If that is where you are, then look into automation. One thing I'm going to say is on Wednesday, Rita is having a free webinar. She's going to put it in the chat. Automate your way to freedom. Just come and listen to this 1 hour class. It's at 6 p.m. Eastern, right, Rita?
Yes.
Yeah, so just come listen to this system. You may not want to use it, but you'll get a few ideas. I am a firm believer of learning new systems, so go ahead and learn it, and then you make your own decision. We're not selling you anything, we're just telling you to automate your business. And with that, we come to the end of Munira's Musings, the show today. If you would like to be a guest on Munira's Musings, please send me a request on Facebook Messenger. And if you like what we bring you, please share and subscribe to our channel. We are everywhere where you can find your favorite podcasts, so you can look us up there too. Thank you, and have a wonderful week.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Munira's Musings with your host, Munira Zahabi. If you enjoyed our show, please share and subscribe to this channel. And for more content, please join our Facebook group.